In a few weeks, Apple is set to announce the brand new iPhone 16 and 16 Pro models, and I thought this would be a fantastic time to revisit the iPhone 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max. Now, this has been a weird year for me because usually I stick to one iPhone 15 Pro and then the other one I use for like beta testing. But this year I split it half and half, and the reason being is I just prefer the smaller size. But towards like 5 months or 6 months after its release, I started traveling more. And as good as the battery life is on the 15 Pro, like it's good, but it's not great. The 15 Pro Max just gives you more battery life. And I don't like carrying power banks. So I switched to the Pro Max, I put up with the bigger screen, the bigger device, and I had no problems getting through the entire day and going well into the night. So I'm gonna kind of show you the difference in terms of its age, how it's been used. But look, I'm a chicken, okay? So I keep my phones in a case. This is the case I've been rocking with the 15 Pro Max. It's just a clear TPU case. I think this is from Nomad actually. And the case that I was using on the iPhone 15 Pro is their leather case, which is very nice. So it's been holding up quite well. In terms of scratches and chips, there's none. I keep it in a case. I'm pretty good with it. And as you can see here, there's nothing around the body. I will say that this does pick up a lot of smudges on the titanium. It's not as noticeable on this gray version, but on the black model, like it just looks super dirty. A lot of cruft does get picked up in the cameras around here, so I'm constantly trying to clean it. But I do have scratches on the 15 Pro. Like it's scratched very early, and this is a phone that's just been in my pocket. It's been in my knapsack, not a lot of keys or anything around it, and I ended up getting a little scratch on the screen. I don't know if you can see it right now, but I'll flash a light to it. There's a little scratch over here that just annoys me every time a light hits it and the screen is off. The 15 Pro Max, on the other hand, has been flawless. There's no major scratches on this device, just your regular, everyday micro scratches. In terms of weight, I do appreciate 10 grams less on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Again, it doesn't seem like a lot, but I picked up my 15 or 14 Pro Max the other day, and I'm like, wow, like this is a nice difference. You know, when you're carrying a bigger phone, you want it to be as light as possible. And I get they're using titanium, so technically it's durable in some other ways that aluminum is not, but I kind of like the lightness of aluminum. So I wouldn't be upset if they went back to that. But I think the most important thing that people want to know is how has the battery life been holding off? And I'm probably an anomaly. I'm going to show you, and you're probably going to be like, what? That's not normal. Well, look, I'm 100%. My maximum capacity on both of these phones have not gone down at all. As you can see here, I have 128 cycle counts, which is pretty average for like 5 to 6 months. On the 15 Pro rather, I have, I think a little more. Let's check. So for the 15 Pro, I have also 100% maximum capacity, but with a few more cycle counts at 138. For screen on time, I'm probably averaging around 5 to 6 hours on the 15 Pro Max, but this thing is definitely idling most of the time just because when I'm at the office, I'm mostly on my computer. But like, it's just so nice to know that if I go out at night, this thing is going to last all day. USB-C has been huge. I can't believe it took Apple this long to put USB-C on iPhones. I no longer have to carry a lightning cable around. This is a big deal. Like it just makes charging everything I have with me so much easier. My laptop uses USB Type-C. My earbuds use USB Type-C. My phone uses USB Type-C. Everything I have is now USB Type-C. The software experience has been interesting. Like, I'll be straight up with you, I'm kind of getting bored of iOS. You know, like I'm getting that Android itch a lot, and I use an Android phone as my second device, but I'm kind of like thinking of putting it as my primary phone. You know, like after using Niagara Launcher for the past few months, it's just like, this is the way a phone should look, you know? And there's nothing wrong with this. It's very simple to use. It's intuitive in the sense that like getting to your stuff is quite easy, but it just feels kind of stale at this point. Now, the good news is with the latest version of iOS 18, which I have here on my newer 15 Pro, you can customize it a lot more. And, you know, people who like to tinker with their phones will be a lot happier with it. But as for Dynamic Island, you know, like this was a big deal for Apple, but I don't know, like I'm just not using it that much. I don't even notice it. Sometimes for Uber Eats, I'll see it. Sometimes for music, I'll tap on it. But overall, I feel like it's been quite underwhelming. I hope there's some more software development coming in the future. As for the action button, I'm still keeping mind to the flashlight. Look, I'm a simple guy, right? I use the flashlight the most every night. When I turn off all the lights in the house, I go up the stairs. I don't want to leave any lights on. I don't want to wake up the kids. I want to go stealth mode, right? So flashlight on so I don't trip on something. I'm an easy guy, but I know a lot of people are binding them to like Siri shortcuts. You guys let me know some good shortcuts, and if I can still include the flashlight somehow, maybe I'll do that, because I feel like I can do more with this button. Now, the camera has always been consistent on the iPhone. I never had major complaints about cameras on iPhones for many years, and the same holds true mostly for the 15 Pro Max. When I take a photo, I know what to expect. It's consistent under any lighting condition. Obviously, other Android phones in certain conditions can take better photos, but for the most part, this is a very consistent experience. I find it reliable, but I am kind of getting sick of the over-processed look that Apple's kind of going in. And I think a lot of other manufacturers are starting to get into this trap as well. Like, it takes photos good most of the time, but like there's just some times where it like leans too heavily on the yellows. It looks too HDR-y, you know? And I wish that processing was toned down a bit so that you had a more natural look. But video is still amazing on this phone. Like, I've been reviewing phones for years, and like the iPhone for the past few years, it still has the best video. And I use this app called Kino, and it's great. Like, it uses log, it puts everything in a flat profile, and there's built-in LUTs that you can actually use that bakes it in directly onto your phone, which is awesome. And then you have a beautiful image to utilize once you are ready to edit it. It's just a different look compared to all the standard iPhone video looks we're used to seeing. You know, it just makes your footage look a little bit different than anybody else. Also, the 5x lens has been absolute clutch. You know, I know some people prefer the 3x on the 15 Pro. I get it, but 5x to me is perfect. Like, I'll be watching my kid play hockey, and the 3x won't get close enough to him on the ice. But with the 5x lens, like, it gets him right in frame. It gives me a nice, good look. And it looks consistent. Like, when you compare the colors between each lens, it looks pretty equal between all of them, and I think that's great. Digital zoom is more on the 15 Pro Max. Like, you can go up to 25 times digital, so if you want to like seep in a little bit more and get that extra stuff, you absolutely can. Now, it's good, but obviously it's not as good as Google's Super Res Zoom, which does 30 times, but I'm really not using the digital zoom all that often. So yeah, I know this is not a very exciting video, and that's a good thing. You want these update videos to be boring. That means the phone is doing exactly what it should be doing. And I think that's kind of where we are right now with the hardware. Everything is moving towards software. You know, once Apple's AI stuff gets baked into the phones, we might have a totally different experience, and it will change the way you use your phone a bit more. But like, the 16 is not going to be that big of an upgrade, at least from what I'm seeing. The 16 Pro and 16 Pro Max, a little more interesting. I love the fact that we're going to get a 6.3-inch display on the smaller one. I personally find that to be the perfect size. And for those of you that want to have the biggest screen possible, the 16 Pro Max is going up from 6.7 to 6.8 while maintaining a very similar form factor. Either way, let me know if you have any questions in the comment section down below. Like the video if you liked it. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the review on the upcoming iPhones, and I'll see you guys in the next one.